Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Somebody sent me this photograph and asked how you would design this. It's going to be like a little milk crate carrier type deal. I don't know the size. He can make the size. I'm going to make mine a little different. This was pretty much a little bit different than how I make them, because the one reason I don't like this, I don't think there's any joint from the sides to the bottom. So I went to Cuddle.xyz, and picked the open box with finger joints. It's free. And I designed a box and I brought it into Corel, and here it is. So I made my box 9x4. So there's the bottom, here's the two sides, and here's the two long sides that we need to change to make this work. Now, I only need one of these, so I'm going to just delete that one. I'm going to put that one, I hit P and put it in the center of the page. This looks like, if this is 4 inches tall, that looks like it's about 5 inches tall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a ellipse, and I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. So if that is 2 inches in, and I want it to be 5, I'm going to change my nudge factor to 7. And I'm going to nudge that guy up. So there's my start of my height. Now what I'm going to do, and I think this would be the easiest way to do, is be able to go to Effects and Contour. You want it, this is really basically just the round shape. I'm not too worried about it, but I want it a little bit thicker. And I could have made my oval thicker now that I think about it, but it's going to help me later. I'm going to contour the inside or outside 1/4 of an inch. And now I have 2 circles. I'm going to go to Object and break the contour apart. I want that circle for later, and I'll show you why in just a second. Now what I'm going to do, and you could use anything on this. I love drawing with the 3-point curve line. And I'm going to go from that quadrant to that node, and I'm just going to kind of bring it in. Now, there's no way to duplicate that line exactly, but if we hit the plus key on the keyboard and mirror it, and then bring this with the 4-point cross, we have it exactly. So now what I can do is take my virtual segment delete key and delete that line and delete that line. I'm going to keep that circle there for just a second. I'm not 100% happy with the transition here, but it'll work. Now the circle is not going to stay there, but I want it for later. I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool. I'm just going to use any color. I'm going to fill it in, and what that did, that connected everything. So now this piece isn't broken. So instead of having all these pieces, you can see there's still 4 pieces. I've only got 1. I'm going to go back to P and hit center of the page. I'm going to left click, right click. I'm actually going to go ahead and go red and make sure it's a hairline. Now, this has a cross pattern, which is pretty unique. I don't know exactly how they did it, but I want something to fit in there, and I'm actually going to use that, probably that circle. And if you remember, we're working in the center of the page. So I'm going to make mine out of, I'm not going to make this, but I'm going to make it out of 1/8 inch plywood. So I need my thickness to be 0.125. Now I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. And I can hold down the control button and bring this guy up to about there. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to change my nudge factor to something little, like 0.101. I'm going to grab that and just kind of nudge it, kind of where I'm in the center. Now I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. That's why I wanted the circle. I wanted this in the center of the graphic. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to select this, go up to Object and break the curve apart. And by doing that, I can get rid of my circle. Now I'm going to take both these and I'm going to weld them. So now I have that cross pattern. And if you remember, I wanted, I only have to do this once. Both ends are identical. I don't probably have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with the Smart Fill tool. that kind of embeds that cross in there. And then left click, right click. Now, this represents the two, and you can see this is the bottom. So this piece will actually fit right there. This piece, I'll flip it over and it'll fit right there. So this piece that we just drew, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting them perfect. Let me just go in. So grab that node right there and put it right there. So that other piece will be in there. Let's take it away, grab that node and put it right there. So there's our two sides. Now we're going to take this one and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And this piece is going to fit right in here. Right in here. So that's basically our box. We just need to work on our handle. I hope that makes sense right there. So I'm going to move it away and grab that node and put it right there. So there's your pieces, and then we're going to hit the plus key and mirror it, and there's our other side. Now you don't have to put them in those positions to cut them out. I'm going to go ahead and put this back to 90 or to 0 because take up a little bit less space on the cutting board or your cutting item. Cut that back to 0. And this is a pretty good little trick. You could save a little bit of space by nesting those two. Now, the outside of the box, I made it 9 inches, but when it was done, it was actually 9.06, which is 6/1000 of an inch, so it doesn't really matter. So now we need to make the handle. There's a couple ways to do this, but we just need to make sure we use this measurement. I did not measure it. That's the only downside. And you know what? That might not even fall into factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a handle and make it 9 inches long. I got my ratio unlocked, but I do want it to be that size. I was thinking I could cut little notches in there, but what we can do, and this is an easy way to measure 2 ways, get your parallel dimension tool and go from there to there, and we're at 1.15, or you can do this, take your smart fill tool, fill that in, move the smart fill out of the way, and you can see it's only 1.152. So my measurement was a little bit off. So I'm going to go with the 1.15. So we want this with my measurement, my ratio unlocked. I'm going to make this 1.15. So there's the thickness. I always kind of go and check to make sure it's going to fit in there. Now I want to go back to the center of the page because we're going to do a little magic here to make these two pieces fit. So I'm going to take a line or another rectangle that is with my ratio unlocked, 0.125 thick, 9 inches long, and I'm going to hit P. Now I'm going to take another line, just holding down, just a 2-point line, holding down the control button so it's perpendicular, and hit P. These two pieces are going to kind of match together, as you can see, but we don't want them to go, well, we do kind of want them to go all the way. So what we need 2 of these. And let me think about this for a second. I hadn't thought about it. We need to keep them together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and just take away that line. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim this line with the virtual segment delete key. I want that other line in there. So there is my, don't even have to take that out. There's my half. I'm going to take the smart fill tool, fill that in. That kind of puts it all together. Left click. I'm going to do one of them in black. I'm going to hit the plus key on the keyboard and make it red. So this one will slide into there and matching up in the middle. so they'll be at a cross pattern. I'm going to go ahead and turn that one red. Whoop. And there's your completed box. And see, that's why I use the Smart Fill tool. It put all that together. And then I would turn these at a 90 degrees and bring it over to your bottle and put them wherever on the wood you can do. That should work. The only thing that you could do a little bit different, and I'm not going to really go through it, but you could actually make your box a little bit, or your handle a little bit longer, and you could make it a little bit wider and have an indentation here to fit in that hole. But this will work. And then just lightly glue that together. You know, put some glue just on the inside when you slide it together, and then lightly glue that in there. And I'd put my box together first, and put the two ends on, and then slip that handle in there. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit, maybe gave you some ideas, and thank you for watching.